You are listening to a MetalExpressRadio.com interview. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Mick Burgess, and I'm now backstage at Trillions with Don Van Stavern from Riot and Riot V. How are you doing, Don?
We're doing good, man. We had a little trouble last night with the airlines, but we're here, we made it, and tonight was phenomenal.
So you're a band with a history with Riot and Riot V going back almost 4 decades. I mean, How would you manage to cram a 4-decade history into a 2-hour show?
It's tough because when we headline, it's tough. And we play an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's still tough, because you're talking about, like you said, 4 decades. So even if we play a couple songs of each record, we're way to 2 hours, So, and then when we play festivals, or where they go, you get an hour. How are we supposed to fit an hour? Then you start thinking like this. It's greatest hits. Okay, we only have 1 hour at Vakken. You got to play Swords and Tequila. Thunderstill, Warrior. So you start picking out the big songs, and then you fill it in with stuff like that. But it's tough and it's challenging because, with a 4-decade history, there's a lot of fans that want to hear, people in the crowd scream songs that we don't have. But like tonight, we weren't planning on coming out for the last one. He cut the PA off, and we had Fight or Fall, we have Alter the King, we have all these Hard Loving Man, we have all these songs. So just in case, we probably know 50 Riot songs.
So you just released your 16th studio album, Armor of Light, earlier this year. How's the reaction been so far?
It's been great. And like you said, what's really touching and nice for me is that, I've been in the band Riot for a long time. I'm the oldest member of the band from 1984 when, I joined with Rhett and all them. So to see it still going and flourish, 30 years later, Mike Flyntz has been with Mark Reale for quite some time. So to see it still going, it's just totally like mind-blowing because, besides the fact that people like the music, when you have like key players like, the great Mark Reale, he was my friend and my mentor. It's his band. And then he dies, and we're like, okay, that's probably it. And then fans are like, no, play the music, So you're going like, wow. So we kept going. We talked to old members, Mark's father. You have to keep the music going. So we kept going, and then SPV. We have a contract, even though Mark's gone. We need a record. So we did, we did Unleash the Fire of Mortal Soul for Mark. And then, after that was up, we got signed by the badass Nuclear Blast, which I was kind of like thinking, Riot was here, and then all of a sudden, get signed by the biggest metal label there is, and they loved the band. So, they were like, yes, we want to sign you. It was like 8 years, so we did Armor of Light, and it shines, a new light onto the band. Like, just when we think it might have been stagnant, then we get signed by the biggest band, and they're like, Armor of Light, we want to put you out on the tour. We want you to play festivals. We want to do that. So it's an important record for us that it's kind of us standing on our own. The 5th chapter of Riot V5, and that people love it. And what's real rewarding is, I've been in the band so long, and of course people are going to, clap for Road Racing and Swords and Tequila, but when they clap for, Armor of Light, and it's just like, oh man, they're still with us. So it's very fucking.
It would be good if the label got you on a Donington download now next year, wouldn't it?
They're working on it. They have a lot of things planned. I mean, they got us on the Primal Fear, which is big, and we got another, a lot of things in the 2020, a Hammerfall tour. We got a lot of stuff brewing. Primal Fear, that's the first thing that hooked us up with Nuclear Blast, because they were treating us like this. They were going, it's Riot, but it's Riot 5, and you have newer, younger members like Todd Michael Hall, so great. Little Nick, so great. They're going, we don't want you to stay in the past. We want you to become the Five. So we want to put you on the road with Primal Fear and the newer bands, you know. So, you know, I mean, it's amazing that we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello. How are we doing?
We got the amazing Mike Flyntz, who is I'm the oldest, earliest member, right? But he's the longest lasting. Yeah. And he's been Mark's guitar partner solid for 30 years. So.
I mean, it must have been quite a surreal experience working on that first album without Mark. I mean, how did it feel creating music without him being there?
Well,
he was there, kinda. But
after we decided to do it. After we decided to do it, which was a hard decision, you know, it had a lot to do with Mark's father. I take care of Tony Reali. After the decision was made, we decided we're going to make the album for Mark. We're going to write songs for him. We're going to write him we're going to write the music like he's right there with us. I tried to play like him, which I can't really. He had the magic vibrato and the songwriting. So we wrote songs for him, and you know.
He taught us a lot.
As he was there.
Yeah, he taught us a lot. So when we did the tribute album, Unleash the Fire, that's why it's well-rounded with power metal, rock and roll and all that. It was, you know, me and Mike were like, this is a tribute to Mark. That's why he wrote a ballad, I wrote a ballad. And it was, you know, it was a record that touched us because we knew that carrying on the legacy was going to be a big deal, so we had to treat it right. And I remember when, you know, when we did Until We Meet Again, Mike's ballad for Mark, at the very end of it, we decided to put Mark's voice on there from a studio from the last time. And when we were in the studio, the song's playing, it ends, we hear Mark's voice, and it was like, not a dry fucking eye in the fucking place. It was,
So once you've been through that experience, did it make the process of creating Armour of Light a little less fraught emotionally?
It was equally stressful in a different way. We didn't know how Unleash the Fire would be received. And it got a great reception. People loved it. People couldn't believe that we put out an album, that we wrote songs. And the whole thing was, how do we come back? How do we follow up? Unleash the Fire. Did we get lucky? Did we, you know, can we do it again? So it was a different thing. And we did include Mark on this new album.
San Antonio.
We took a song, we used to do all the demos at my house.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of songs that Mark wrote that are still on my studio.
There was a song that was supposed to be on Immortal Soul. We didn't use it, and we decided to.
2 albums ago, so we took the song, and Frank wrote the lyrics for San Antonio, because that's where Mark is buried.
Yeah.
And he actually.
That's where I live.
So we co-wrote that for Immortal Soul 8 years prior, so the music was written already.
Yeah. So his presence is still there, really.
Yeah, and also, you know, on the whole album, it's still there. It doesn't seem as much as Unleash the Fire. Yeah. But yeah, he's always with us. We talk to him every day. We talk about him on the tour. What would he say? How would he make us laugh?
It must be, 30 years plus in the band together, it's always going to be very, very, very difficult.
It's actually 29 years for me now.
Yeah.
You share a lot of good times, you know, with a person. He's more than just a musician. He's like our friend and brother. Yeah. So he taught us a lot. So sometimes we do certain things, me and Mike, you know, we're going like, okay, Mark, how would Mark do it? Like this? Okay, yeah, you know, sometimes we do that.
On the album, you got producer Chris Collier in, who's worked with Korn and Lynch Mob and people like that. So, why did you pick him for the album?
Well, before we got signed to Nuclear Blast, we were working with an independent label, and they had an in-house producer, Chris Collier, and we knew his background. He did like Slipknot, Korn, engineered, and produced Lynch Mob and a few bands. So when the deal folded with the independent Nuclear Blast picked us up, we were thinking, well, maybe we need someone like Chris, because we're on the biggest heavy metal label there is, so maybe we need to pick an up-and-coming producer, like Chris. And so he agreed to do the record with us, and it's different. We've always had really slick production. Bruno Ravel from Danger Danger did a lot of records for us. He's real, vocal sweet, certain sounds, and we were like, okay, well, that's why, Armalite's a very heavy record for us. We're on Nuclear Blast, we're coming back, we're standing on our own 2 feet, the tribute's over, let's punch everybody in the face, and we're going to get a new young producer. And it's different for us because the production, it's dry in your face, loud bass drums, dry vocals, and we're kind of like, we're a little scared. People, wow, but it's, fortunately, I think, most of the people like it, but it was just kind of something for us that we felt like it might make a big difference for us moving forward, and now that, people like it and it's, charted everywhere. Next record, we might get someone, else to be like a combination now, but it was just kind of like a statement. The writing and the production.
You've renamed the band Riot V, so you've kept a foot in the past, but you've got a foot going forward, so it's a bit of a nice combination of both, really, isn't it?
It was a very tough decision, like Mike said, we were very good friends with Mark, like brothers, and he helped take care of his father. So, besides just the musical standpoint, there's a lot of heart in this. A lot of bands say that, but I mean, we really mean it.
Yeah.
Like, we're very close with, besides Tony, we have, Lou Cavaris, who plays with us, Rick Ventura from the old school. We didn't want to go on and people to think that we're just cashing on the name.
Yeah.
It's a passion. We all have regular jobs. We do this. And so, out of respect, Mike talked to Tony, Mark's dad, and said, can we continue the legacy? He said, yes, please don't bury the music with my son.
Yeah.
Bring his music out.
He told me, before I even asked him, he just came around and said, you have to continue. He goes, if you don't play, the music will die. He goes, as long as you keep on playing the music, Mark will stay alive forever.
Yeah.
That's what he told me.
lives through the music.
Yeah.
So when I came up with the name, we were thinking about, a lot of people, a lot of the older fans, like, this is not Riot, you should change. And we're like, well, you don't understand. This means a lot more to us. But out of the courtesy, I came up with the idea of the V, which is a Roman
numeral. Yeah.
So 5, because of the 5 singers.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. And it's kind of the 5th chapter of the band. You got Guy Speranza.
We're going to call it Riot Chapter 5.
Yeah,
but that was like, wait a minute.
Like a little weird, right?
Riot Chapter 5.
But you got Guy Speranza, Rev Forrester, Tony Moore, Mike DeMeo, and then Todd Michael Hall.
Yeah.
It's 5 singers, and it's a different style. But we've combined, Mike channels his Mike DeMeo years. He writes that kind of vibe. I do my Thunder Still, and then we touch on the past.
Yeah.
So we were like, you know what? The 5th chapter of the band, like the intro tape says, the 5th chapter of Riot. We want to this is us, but we don't forget our past. And one thing I will say about Riot 5, that the band sounds fresher than ever.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of bands will go see some of the older school and they're still the same. We try to reach that level. We can compete with the Arch Enemies. We can compete with the Avenged Sevenfold. We're old guys, but the music is fresh.
Yeah.
I got the best guitar players in heavy metal right now. Him and Nick are amazing. And then Todd Michael Hall. It's just simply like, we're lucky.
Oh, thank you.
We're lucky. Mark used to tell me the longevity of a band is through creating good music, and I think that's why Riot is still, no matter what era, we always are able to put out quality music, and people, you can't fool the people, and
really, he taught us, it's all about the song. I mean, you come to our show, you're not going to see guitar solos and drum solos, and we want to just fit as many songs. It's all about the song, and that's what Mark Reale taught me.
That's why people sing, because that's a good song.
You go see some bands, and then you see they do 2 songs, 10-minute drum solo, a guitar solo, you know. It's great. If you're Eddie Van Halen, that's one thing.
Like a 10-minute drum solo for Frankie.
Yeah, but we have too many songs. I mean, it's all about. My point is, it's all about songs. The song. You have to write good songs, and I think we could have won another hour today.
Great to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for the chat, chaps, and all the best for the future.
Thank you, brother.